Trying to get the live feed going. Here and everyone coming in. So good morning, I'm Judge Person, and what will happen for just a few moments is people's audio will connect. So I'm going to be a little redundant and fluffy with my comments for just a moment while that happens. We're almost there. So yes, so I just want to welcome everybody to the Temple Municipal Court. My name is Judge Person, and we're conducting court online. If you're on a telephone call, you won't be able to see how the proceeding is working, although it's available if you want to watch it on YouTube. But those in the meeting come through this channel that we're on right now, the meeting invitation. And I have a few folks that are on by telephone, and I just want to identify who's here so that I pull the right files. So on the telephone, listen up if you're on a phone call, area code 254, number ending in 715. Are you there? If you can hear me, please unmute. Yes, hi. What is your name? There's one. Antonio Vargas, are you on the line?
I am.
Okay, great. I thought that was the number. I thought I recognized it. Give me a moment. I'm just gonna just change it on the screen so that I don't lose track of you. And I'll mark you as checked in. Listen to the meeting. Yes, hi. I have another phone caller, 715. Could you identify yourself, please? I'm going to call names. If you hear your name, please unmute and talk to us. Jesse Bowman, are you here? Cornelius Brown, are you here?
Yes, ma'am.
What's your name, please?
Cornelius Brown.
Cornelius Brown, great. Okay. Mr. Brown, just as I was telling Mr. Vargas, listen to the meeting, because at a certain point I'll call out your name, and that'll be when it's your turn. And so you're here, and I've marked you in. Latrice Fields, are you here? Charles Clark, are you here? Dominique Humphrey, are you here?
Yes.
Okay. Got it. And I'll make sure and change that on the screen. Thank you. Okay, there we go. And Jesse Brown just came in. All right. Jose Phillips Davis, are you here? Maria Saldana, are you here? Great, thank you. There you are. Great. Now I see you. You were here. And let's see, there was one more. Christopher Johnson, you're here. Okay, great. Okay, so I do want to let you know a couple of things before we get started. It's helpful to know when you're given a ticket or issued a citation, those are all methods that we have under the law for accusing someone. That is what a ticket is. It's an accusation. When you give a plea, you're giving an answer or a response to that accusation. And there are three options for pleading: guilty, not guilty, no contest. The law presumes we're not guilty. And I will ask people to get on screen. It's kind of like court. So let's not make me stop and take time to do that. Just start your video. And so what I'll do then is just let you know, I don't know if Mr. Bowman can hear us because his audio is not connected either. So what I'll tell you is that, and those on the telephone, I know you don't have video, so I'll work with you the best I can. So what I'm saying is, if you plead guilty, you're saying I did it. You're admitting an offense, and I'll be moving that case forward with sentencing. If you plead no contest, you're not admitting it. You're not denying it either. You're actually just moving that case forward with sentencing. On guilty or no contest, we move forward with sentencing. If you plead not guilty, we move forward, but toward trial. Okay. This is a beginning step. I've got somebody else. It's a beginning step heading toward trial. And we're looking at that case that way. And we're approaching it from the standpoint of the case is contested. So if you pleaded not guilty, the case is contested. There's a pre-trial that happens. This is a Zoom pre-trial. And if the case is resolved, we finish it out in the way that we can today. If it's not resolved, then we move it towards the next setting, which is to come in usually briefly, normally about 15 to 30 minutes here to go over the trial process and then setting it for trial and moving that case to a trial, whether it's a jury or a bench trial and other pre-trial matters that, in my opinion, are not appropriate to do on a Zoom call, not to make it less convenient, but because it's really the Constitution and the way it works. It doesn't work particularly well when we get to that level. So that's a process that goes in that direction on the not guilty docket. If you plead guilty or no contest, I'm moving that case through the judgment process. And this is a Class C court. So here, the sentence is not jail sentences. Sentences are fines and costs. When you go up the ladder of offenses in Texas and in federal court, in most states for that matter, after the Class C court, it's courts and fines also, plus community service, plus jail time, okay? And that's like a variable that gets worked around. Here, we're working around fines and costs, okay? So a few words about that. If you're found guilty, it goes on your record, generally speaking. There are some exceptions, and I'm going to talk about those quickly in a moment, but you pay the fines and costs. That's subject to income information, which we did ask for you to submit. If you're on the contested docket, not guilty, we still asked for it because I'm needing to look at the bond and what we're doing in terms of setting a bond for trial, okay? So I use that form multiple ways. It's not a presumption that somehow you're guilty. It's because if you're contesting your case, you're supposed to post a bond. I need to get that information. If I'm sentencing you, I need to get that information. Rather than have people fill out the same information in multiple forms multiple times, I just ask to do it once and keep it up to date. So I did ask for that from people. If I don't, then I will eventually ask for it. So it's better just to get it quickly and get it into the file. But anyway, so that's why you were asked to submit that. It's actually so I can work with you and help you if I need to. So we're looking at income information in connection to sentencing because it's payment of fines and costs. Okay. The next thing I want to talk to you about is there are 4 exceptions to having it go on your record that I have available from the bench. And I'll just tell you what those are quickly and how they work. Compliance dismissals are things that can be brought up to date and dismissed. I will look for that for you. I don't expect you to know where that can happen. Those are things like your headlight was out. If you have something and you think it should be considered that way, just talk to me about it up front and I will explain to you what's happening. And if I miss something, I will look at it with you. So when it's your turn, I'm going to talk a bit, but then I'm going to ask you about things. And, that's an opportunity to talk to me about whatever you're thinking about concern-wise. So the second one is if you have something that can be dismissed through driving safety course option, and that course option is available for moving violations for Texas Class C holders or military or active military and their dependents. What I will tell you about that is that, again, I'll be looking to see if you qualify to be in that program, and you're welcome to ask about it. What I will also tell you is regarding that program, the reality is that it saves you money, okay? Plus it keeps it off your record. It's got a 2-part thing. So let me talk a little further about fines and costs. Fines and costs, if you call the clerk, they give you like a whole number. And there's a lot of ways we can break down that number. But for this discussion, let's say that we break it down into fines and costs. The costs are set by the Texas legislature. I am not them. They are a separate branch of government, and I can't change that or control that number. Okay. The fine is set by the judge. That would be me. So in the driving safety course format, you're paying those costs because remember, I can't change them. And they actually get sent to Austin. I'm just waving to Austin because they go there. They don't stay locally. When you pay fines, they stay locally. They don't stay with the court. They don't go to the police department. They go to streets, roadways, sewers, etc. So that goes into the general fund, and your council and your mayor look at the best way to deal with that money. Okay. So if you do the driver safety course option, you have to qualify to be in the program, sign up appropriately, and complete it appropriately. It's like, just think of it as stages. You pay the fines and you pay the court costs and the fines go on hold. Then you have a window to get in your driving record and your course. It has to be the proper driving record and the proper course. You get those turned in and the ticket gets dismissed off your record and the fine gets waived, so you don't pay it. You do pay for the driving record. You do pay for the course. That said, if you paid the whole number, it would go on your record and it's more expensive than the cost plus the driving record and the course. Okay. The reason we do that is to incentivize that course, because we know that people drive better. Empirically speaking, it's a verifiable fact that people who take the course drive better for a period of 12 months. You might even know that from your employer if you drive for your work. Some people are required to take that course every year, because the reason being that they drive better and your employer knows that. So does the Department of Public Safety. And that's why we have that law on the books. Okay. So it saves you money, keeps it off your record. It's not without consequence. You do have to sit through that class and get it done. But once you do all that and turn it in on time, you get your case dismissed. It doesn't go on your record. There is a record that you took the course, but it doesn't go on your record as a conviction. Okay. So that's option 2. I said there were 4. The third one is called a deferred disposition. With a deferred disposition, what that is, deferred means to delay, disposition, dispose, means to make it final. I delay making your case final. I put an order in place. It's a piece of paper that you sign. You will have a copy. It will list what you have to do to get a dismissal. You can ask for a deferred disposition in a Class C court directly from the judge. You may also ask the prosecutor if you are talking to the prosecutor. When you get to a Class B or greater, you have to ask only the prosecutor first, then the judge. In a Class C court, both parties can be asked about that. The judge can grant it on a plea of guilty or no contest. Okay. On a not guilty plea, there's no way to grant it. because I can't sentence you while also scheduling you for trial. So that's oil and vinegar, that doesn't mix. But guilty or no contest, I'd like a deferred. That's how you ask. You just say, guilty or no contest, I'd like a deferred. It was on the sheet that you were asked to fill out with your plea for court with some notes at the bottom that you could write into. It's a checkbox. Sometimes people do not know what that is. So I go ahead and explain it today before we move forward. Okay. If you're here today, you got some information maybe you didn't know. Some people might have heard about it, but sometimes they don't know how it works in a Class C court because it works differently here than in other levels of court. Okay, you have a little more movement here for yourself. So that's the third option. The fourth is called teen court. If you're enrolled in high school or middle school, I should be talking to you about teen court this morning. If you didn't tell me that you were enrolled in high school or middle school, and also a GED program does count toward that. If you are moving toward a diploma of some kind, please let me know if I don't already know that. Okay. And you would know that I know that because you gave us a copy of your school ID. Okay. So let me know if you didn't already let me know on your paperwork, and we'll talk about it. I'm not going to go into the details of that because I'll do that person specific. So those are the 4 ways to gain a dismissal in a Class C court directly from the judge. Okay. So now you know something that maybe you didn't know before, and you probably know something that other people did not know. But most of us don't wake up in the morning thinking about these sorts of things. So I do like to explain them because now we all have the same information to move forward with. Ryan Matson is the prosecutor for the city. He represents the state of Texas. When you get a complaint filed against you or a ticket written against you, it is taken out in the name of the state of Texas. He is their representative. If you are meeting with him on the pretrial docket today, he is not your representative. He's not your lawyer. He is the lawyer for the state. He's on the other side of it. That said, we are here to try to move cases forward that should be moved forward where there is disagreement, and settle things if there is agreement. So we're partly looking at that today. He's looking carefully at his cases, and I know that you are looking carefully at your case. And I will begin that docket, which is a breakout room here in the Zoom setting. And you'll meet with Mr. Matson, and then you'll come back over to this meeting because before you leave today, I have some remarks at the end of the proceeding before you go. So you'll be coming back over to this meeting. Mr. Matson, can you unmute for just a moment and introduce yourself so that the Zoom system can catch up and put you on screen, please?
Good morning, everyone. I'm the prosecutor.
Good enough. So I will move you over. Your first person is Tanya. I'll say it wrong, I'm sure. Benji or Benjay? Benjay? Can you unmute and say your name for us?
Tana Benj.
There it is. I did it wrong. Okay, Miss Benj, I'll try to do it differently next time. And I am moving you over to that meeting now. And I am also moving forward, beginning with Nina Hernandez. Ms. Hernandez, can you unmute and just tell me how you're doing today while I pull up your file?
Hi, good morning. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm well, thanks for asking. And I'm glad to hear you're fine. And I did review the information that you submitted. It was a request for an extension on community service. I do have everything ready to sort of grant that, but and I guess what I heard was you didn't find time to do it over the summer with family, and now you feel like you can get it done. Have you picked a place where you're going to be doing it?
Yes, ma'am. I was doing it at the Salmons Golf Course.
Okay.
The only thing with that, so the person who was hosting the community service could only do it between 12 and 5. I did start working, so it was a little hard to, me getting off at 7 p.m. It was a little hard to find time to do it between my off days and childcare. I'm working at the hospital.
What do you do there?
Okay. I work in the diet office.
Okay. Is that full-time work?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How many hours have you done approximately?
Maybe about 25 hours.
I do need to, there's always a duty to tell us when you like employment. So I need to update that information. and figure out where we're supposed to be. I do want to get at least the hours that you've done. You were working at an Aramat Mart before. Is that still true?
Yes, ma'am. They have a contract with Scott and White, so that's the actual company that pays me.
Are you still receiving food stamps?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have your hours changed at the hospital?
No, ma'am. I typically work between 35 hours a week.
Okay.
Sometimes I work less depending on how many days I'm scheduled.
Okay. All right. And you're paid every 2 weeks, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I had a question too. You put apartment maintenance and Uber, $300 monthly. What's going on with that? You take rides to work? Is that what that is?
Yes, ma'am. My daughter, she rides the bus. I have to find Ubers to and from work because I don't have a car. I don't have a license, so I've never been able to purchase a car.
Right. I think we're still on the right track. Are you going to continue to work at Salmon's to do what you're doing? As far as the hours go?
I do plan on it because they actually do like 3 hours. They give you 3 hours if you work 1 hour, so it helps me get the hours done faster.
Okay, that's actually, if you read my sheet, I don't allow that, and I guess I need to reach out to Salmons and talk to them about that. I already gave you 3 hours credit. I gave you 3 for 1 up front.
Okay.
And it says on my sheet, it must be hour for hour. So I do need to talk to someone out there. Can we get a note? If you look at the sheet, what I tell you is it's hour per hour because I already gave you. See, it should have been. Let's see. It should have been 337 hours, and I gave you 169 hours. So I do ask that you follow the directions, and I will reach out to them and talk to them. The hours you have, I'm not going to nitpick that because there's some confusion. But right now, it's still going to say 169 at the top because I don't currently have any hours from you. And I will extend you to November 10th, okay?
Okay.
Yes?
Okay.
Okay. You want the extension to do it, right?
Yeah. The only thing is, so I did find out that I'm expecting, so it just might be a little bit harder. It's the only thing that makes it really hard is the Ubers. I don't have rides. But I mean, I will definitely, try to get those hours done by November and the due date.
Yeah, I mean, we've been trying to get you to handle this matter.
Mhm.
So, I mean, if the doctor gives you something in writing that I did it with your hours. But your hours were due August 23rd. And here we are. And I would like to release your cases.
Mhm.
So I'll give you an extension.
Okay.
Okay. Good to go. We'll email you the new timesheet.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Matson, welcome back. I am moving. Say it wrong again. It's being over. Waiting for that to take effect. She's on a phone, perhaps. Sent there, it went 3 times. 3 is a charm.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, here we are. Mr. Matson, where are we with regard to this matter?
Your Honor, Miss Benj actually wanted to speak with you about her plea.
Okay, what is your plea, ma'am?
If I didn't know how to fill out these papers when I did this, and the lady helped me. She said, since I wanted to go before you, then I had to select not guilty. But I did tell her I was guilty of.
That's not what she said. I'm sorry. That's not what she would say, because it's not an accurate statement of the law. What she said was, if you're appearing before the court, I ask you to fill these out. And she did not say you have to plead not guilty. What she probably anticipated is that you sounded like you might be contesting the matter. And we are on the side of caution because people are presumed not guilty. If you've changed your plea to guilty or no contest, I can talk to you about your sentence. What I can't do is decide what your plea should be. On the speeding charge, how are you pleading? There's 3 options: guilty, not guilty, and no contest.
I'm guilty of speeding.
Okay, what is it that you're trying to do with your claim?
If because Mr. Matson explained the deferred disposition, but if I just chose guilty and did the driver safety course, is that all I have to do? But plus I pay the fine?
Okay, so you're supposed to elect the driver safety course option when you first come into court. If he offers it to you as part of the plea bargain, that's the state making that offer. But
Okay.
state law is that you do that at your first appearance.
Okay, I'll just do the deferred disposition.
Okay. Mr. Matson, are you in agreement with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so the plea is guilty, deferred disposition. Your balance is $254. What are you able to pay towards that balance?
I can pay it in full.
Okay.
Do I just come down to the courthouse and pay it?
Yes, shortly. Let me just look for a moment. What's our speed? It's not on my.
74 and a 60.
Mr. Matson, are you asking for a class? The court is not.
Sorry, Your Honor, you cut out at the end there. What'd you say?
Right now, the court is not asking for a class, but I'm asking if the state has anything that they want to add regarding that.
Yes, ma'am. The class is typically included in standard deferral.
Okay, for you. Okay. So a class would be due, a driving safety course class due November 10th as a condition. Okay. And then the deferred will end January 10th of 2023. And the conditions that remain on that after you get your payment done and your class turned in are just to remain ticket free. Don't get arrested. Don't fail to change your address if you move. I can email this to you, and if you can print it, sign it with your legal signature, not an e-signature, and get it back to us this morning. And then you can pay online, or you can come by the court, sign it. We'll make you a copy and receipt payment here, which is going to work best for you.
I'll just come to the court and fill it out and sign it and pay it.
Okay. What time should we look for you? Can you get here before noon?
Yes, ma'am, I can get there before noon.
Okay. We'll have everything at the front desk. It should only take a few moments, and then you'll be good to go with everything.
Okay.
You have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. You're good to go.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Matson, your next person is Christopher Johnson. Mr. Johnson, can you unmute so that we can hear you?
Yes.
Okay. I'm moving you over to that meeting at this time. Okay. And I'm moving forward with Maria Saldana. Morning, Miss Saldana. How are you today? I'm so sorry. I'm going to see if you can unmute so that I get to hear you as well. How are you this? Yes, ma'am. How are you this morning?
I'm great. How are you, ma'am?
Thank you for asking. I'm fine. I'm pulling up your file and looking at everything, and I did look at it a little bit earlier. I had to look at just one more thing. Can you give me a quick moment?
Yes, ma'am.
These are older things. There are some open cases, and I just want to review them and confirm the plea on that. There's a driving while license invalid charge, and this is from April 13th of 2018. And I did receive a written no contest plea. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then there was a no insurance charge with a no contest plea. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
And then there was a no insurance charge with a no contest plea. And is that your plea at this
Yes,
time?
ma'am.
Okay. And I think the clerk reviewed those balances with you at the window. There's quite a bit that needs to be sort of dealt with financially. I'm going to look at your financial situation for a moment and ask you, are you able to make any kind of payment today?
Not today. I don't get paid till like the 14th, but I have to pay my rent and my bills then. And then I get paid again on the 27th, I believe it is. I can make a payment there.
Okay. Are you the only person living in your home?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any children?
My children are all grown and they're out of state.
Okay.
They have their own lives.
Okay, that's fine. Do you have car insurance?
Excuse me?
You have car insurance?
Do I have car insurance? I'm not driving my car anymore because it's broke right now. So I'm in the process of getting somebody to fix it before I get the insurance and make it legal again.
Okay. So that's an unexpected expense, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And then like normally when you're able to drive the car, what do you think you spend a month on like gasoline?
On gasoline. Well, right now, since it's so high, I put like $40 to fill it up. But before it would be take it like 20 because it's a small car.
So $40, how often do you have to fill up?
Like every 2 weeks.
And another question I have is, what is your electric bill like?
My electric bill is like $100.
Okay, and your water bill?
Excuse me?
And your water bill?
My water bill is like 60.
Okay, and then what is your rent?
My rent is 500.
500.
Well, she just went up. It used to be 350. And
Yes.
she just went up.
Okay. Okay. So I have the option, and it's an appropriate one. So you're down to the wire financially, which is not anything to sneeze at. It's not something to be embarrassed about. But sometimes it's just like that, especially when everything has gone up. Our gas has gone up, groceries, everything's gone up for people. And so it's not unusual for people to be in this position now where the former budget's not particularly working very well. And as a result of that, I am able to order community service instead of payment. The good thing about that is you can kind of tweak away at it, and I will just keep working with you as long as you're making some progress. And
Okay.
there's service hours available all over town, all days of the week. So people can usually kind of find something that they can do on a day off here and there. And, it would be 121 hours if we do that.
21 hours of community service?
121.
121 hours. Okay, and
Probably-
are they open on Saturdays and Sundays?
Some of the places are. What I do is give you a list of places that are pre-approved, and you can go to any of those places and do the work.
Okay,
So I'm going to order community service, and I'm going to say, can you come by the court to pick up the packet involved with that, so that it's pretty big, and we'll print it for you. And then you'll have a timesheet, a list of rules, a list of instructions, and a list of places to choose from with their contact info.
okay. Well, as a matter of fact, I'm already sitting here at the courthouse.
Okay. Okay,
That's it.
okay. Well, we're gonna give you this order, a timesheet. We're gonna print everything and get it ready, and they'll come get it for you in just a quick moment from us, okay?
Alrighty.
And then what I'm gonna say is right now, a due date, 60 days from today, which is November 10th. If if you can't get it all done by then, turn in what you have and drop me a little note to let me know how much longer time-wise you feel like would work to get you done. Okay? So we're
Okay,
gonna kind of see what you can do with the 60 days and we'll go from there.
all right.
Okay. We'll have that out to you shortly, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss Saldana.
Have a great day.
You too. Okay, Mr. Matson, I know that you and Mr. Johnson were speaking and he is back in the room. And where are we with regard to this?
I'll start with the no motorcycle endorsement ticket.
Okay,
That is going to be dismissed, Your Honor. And Mr. Johnson, I forgot to mention, can you scan your license or your documentation that you got from DPS and just email it to the court?
Like my driver's license, because I now
Yeah.
have my hard copy. Yeah, I can do that.
That'd be great.
okay. Mr. Matson, we'll let you get that over to us.
Yes, Your Honor, I'll send that over. And then the unsafe speed for conditions, Mr. Johnson is requesting trial.
So we'll schedule that for a final pretrial. September 21st at 2:00 here at the court building. Okay, Mr. Johnson,
Okay.
we'll see you then.
Okay.
Thank you. Scan that license over so we can do that other dismissal, please.
Will do.
Mr. Matson, do you have anything that you need to take up with the court before I let you go?
Nothing at this time, Your Honor, but if anything comes up later this afternoon, I will give you a shout.
Okay, this afternoon. Do we have something happening? We're going to be in court.
Nothing. I'm just saying, if I think of anything that I need your attention on, I will contact you.
Reach out to the court. Okay, we're good. We have folks coming in with warrant stuff. So I was suddenly nervous about, do I have enough time to get done whatever it is? Because it's
nothing urgent.
Okay, thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you, Judge. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And I'm moving forward with, let's see, Taylor Price. Taylor Price, can you get on screen and unmute, please?
Yes, ma'am. 1 second.
So yeah, it would be good to start your video. Are you speaking? Because I can't hear you. If I can't hear you or see you, we're not having a meeting, are we? Hello. Go ahead and let's unmute. And I'm your other device, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect it, okay?
Okay.
Because sometimes it can create interference. Good morning, Miss Price. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I did receive the information that you gave us. You're still at Concentrics.
Yes.
What are you paid weekly there or every 2 weeks?
Every 2 weeks.
Okay. What day of the week?
It's supposed to be Friday, but usually Thursday.
Okay. So let's see. Then you do receive food stamps at this time?
Yes.
Okay. And then how's your daughter?
Doing good. She started school. She's been sick
I'm
for
sorry.
a little bit.
Starting to feel better?
A little bit.
I'm just looking at everything as a total. Okay, so I can actually order community service in your cases.
Okay.
And let me just double check the number. It turns into 46 hours. Right now, we're going to start with the due date of November 10th.
Okay.
The city is one of the providers on the community service list. When you work with them, they do require a waiver. So I do need to get
Okay.
your signature on that waiver. Most of the time, I just ask people to stop by and do that today because that's going to be easier in terms of, it's kind of a big packet.
Okay.
There'll be a timesheet, directions, places you can go. Can you swing by this morning?
I work until 1, so
Okay, can you come right after?
yes.
Okay, I'll just tell them to look for you around 1:30, okay?
Okay.
Okay, and just read everything when you get here, make sure you understand. There'll be on the timesheet, the number of hours and the due date. If you find that you can get all the hours done and turned in, just turn them in. If it gets to your due date and you haven't turned in your hours, turn in what you have and drop me a note about how much longer you think you might need so that I can give you more time. The consequence of not doing that is that you could go to warrant, which is not what we want. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. We'll look for you around 1:30. Okay, Ms. Price?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. She didn't check. For income report. Just FYI. Sincarius Johnson, are you there? They were here earlier. At least I read it. Okay, moving on. I might have gotten. So Antonio Vargas, can you unmute and talk to us? And I want to say, I don't think you can hear me, but Jesse Bowman, if you can hear me, I cannot, your audio.
Yeah,
is not. Hi, Mr. Vargas. Hang on.
This is Vargas.
Yeah, hi, Mr. Vargas. Hang on just a moment, okay? Jesse Bowman, I can't hear or see you. So you'll need to disconnect.
I'm here, Jan.
Okay, so I see your name on screen and then a phone call. So those are two the same things?
Yes, ma'am. I was trying to log in where I could be on the video, but I'm at work and I'm doing it on my phone, and I called and the lady gave me the number to call.
Okay, we're good then. I'll be back with you. It's actually not your turn, but I'm glad I found that how this is working for you, because the number was not identified, and it says your name on the screen, and it shows the audio isn't connected. So I didn't even think that you could hear me. So I'm glad to know you're here. I'll be with you soon. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Vargas, let me move forward
Yes.
with you. Right. So I did look at your information, and it sounds to me like you're asking to change from a community service order over to a payment plan. Am I interpreting that right?
Well, it's really hard for me to do community service, due to work and personal issues on the weekend. And most of the places, they don't have the time that I'm available, so it's kind of hard. So I really don't know. I mean, I don't have the money to pay it, but if I can, make a monthly payment, low monthly payments, I'll be able to do that.
Right. Okay, so first question, how many hours have you gotten any hours done?
No, I don't, like I said, it's hard to
Oh, I know, but you
places,
had
they
a
got,
due date, you had a due date in July, and we've
right.
had since May, and here we are in September. So I'm just trying to find out if you have any hours that I can give you credit for before we move forward.
No,
Okay,
no, I do not.
so, okay, then your new payment application, I read that through, and I can do payments. In fact, it's appropriate to do them. I'm not sure how low they're going to be with what you disclosed. It looks like you could pay something, but you also don't have an extremely high balance with us. So, and your job, you're paid every other week. Is that right, or every week?
I can pay every week.
Okay, I mean, but you're paid every week. What day of the week?
Right.
What day of the week?
Every Wednesday.
Okay, so today, since you were paid yesterday, can you pay $50?
That check is already gone. I mean, it's not like, I leave pay by check,
Yeah, well,
I
that's a
leave,
budgeting issue. I mean, what you've told
right.
me.
No, I do not.
Yeah, listen for just a moment instead of talking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking a question. Okay, you were paid yesterday, and what you're telling me is between yesterday and this morning, you've spent your whole paycheck. Is that right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, and in what you submitted to me in terms of your income and your bills, there's $1,300 unaccounted for every month. So I don't know where your money's going, and maybe you don't want to disclose that to me, perhaps, I don't know. But I think by next week, you could make a $50 payment on Thursday or on Wednesday, which is better.
Yeah, I mean, I can do like $30. I mean, not 50, but $30.
Yeah, but I'm asking next Thursday to make a $50 payment Thursday.
Right. Yes, I can do it Wednesday.
Okay.
I don't know if I
on
can
the
do it by
14th.
phone or.
On the 14th. And then after that, I can go to $35 every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks?
Right. After that.
And do you do every month? I mean, every 2 weeks?
No. No, I can't. Can you come by the court to sign for this?
No, I
Today?
do not. I get off for late. I mean, it'll be closed by the time I get
Well,
off.
I have to get a signature, and I just find that right now you're just not, I mean, if you had court, if I made you come into court, you would be here. So maybe the answer is I just bring you into court and we can talk about it further. Because honestly, saying to me, I can't make a payment, I want a payment plan, but I can't make the payment plan. Now I can make the payment plan, but I can't do a signature. If I email it to you, can you print it and sign it and get it back to me today?
I mean, I can sign it on my phone and send it back, but I cannot, I cannot take it.
If your phone
person to the
is
court.
not legally, sir, I can't take a phone signature unless it is a hand created signature that is your legal signature.
Right. But I work all the way in Waco. I'm not going to take off.
Yeah, you're going to
Take
need to
work
take
from
off for me to
just a-
get a signature today or tomorrow, or I'm not going to approve a payment plan. The payment plan, if you can't sign, is that it's all due now. If you want to work out a payment plan with me, you have to cooperate enough to come by and make a signature sometime in the next 24 hours, period.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm not going to lose my job. Just take off to
Okay,
sign the paper.
well, you
I
can
mean-
come sign a piece of paper or you can pay it all at once. I'm not going to work with you now. You're not working with me.
Yeah, but you're not, like I said, I can talk to my
When are
manager.
you coming in? Mr. Vargas? It's frustrating for me because I'm trying to talk to you and you're talking, it's partly the phone. But when are you coming in to sign for your payment plan, or I will not order a payment plan? When?
Well, I'm at work.
I heard that
What?
several times already. When are you coming in? Are you at work always?
Well, all day, yes.
Okay, well, if you can't come in to sign, then we're at a point where I can't work with you. If you will not come in and sign for your payment plan in the next 24 hours when we're open, then I can't make a payment plan with you.
I guess I'm gonna have to lose my job and go sign the paper.
No, I think you're going to have to
Right.
learn to cooperate, which means that if you had a court date, I mean, if you're saying to me that if you're court ordered to come into court and you're going to refuse that order, then I can't work with you.
Well, that's a different story, ma'am. You know,
Yeah,
it's not
well,
the
I
same
know
as my
that's how
phone. I
this
can,
started because you have a
I can be on the
habitual problem
phone
with
at
not
work.
showing up. Okay, I'm muting
I
you
have
now.
court.
I'm muting you now because I'm not going to keep trying to compete with you for airspace. I will make a payment plan available to you. I need a signature by close of business tomorrow, which is 5 o'clock. Your court date is today. When you come to court, we can give you an excuse for an employer. That's all that we can do. What we can't do is say, do you want a payment plan? Yes, I do, but I refuse to sign for it. If you're not going to sign for it, then the answer is you have 30 days to pay. That's it. That's the thing I can do. I'm going to disconnect you at this time because I do not think that it's worth me telling me one more time that you're not coming in. You need to come in. I'll be with everyone in a minute. I will tell you folks that the law is really clear that you're required to come into court. If you don't like Zoom, you have to come in and take off all day. So to me, it's a convenience. If you don't like it, we can set people to come for all day and lose this convenience. It's very frustrating to me that people say it's inconvenient and what they want is something less convenient for them entirely less. Mr. Brown, I'm not mad at you or anything like that. Can you unmute, please? And let's talk about your case, okay? Cornelius Brown. Cornelius Brown.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I do have one case that wasn't in, I didn't get a plea on it. I did receive your other papers, but there was a case for prohibited camping. And I just want to confirm, did you plead no contest to that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I just want to confirm that. It was a little strange. I wasn't sure. And then I did receive everything else. I can order community service, and it would be 68 hours of community service. The city of Temple is one of the places on the list. If you work with them, they require a waiver. So I do need you to come by the court, sign for that. We can give you all the information for how to find a provider and a timesheet to track your hours to turn in so that we can clear your cases. Do you want to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that due date is going to be November 10th for now. If you need more time, you have to apply for an extension by turning in the hours you've done by that date and dropping me a letter at the window or through the email, letting me know how much time you need to complete this. But for now, we've got 60 days and 68 hours due. What time are you coming by?
Here in the next hour.
Okay, let's just say by noon, but you can come earlier.
Okay.
Okay, well, we should have everything ready for you soon. at the window.
All right, thank you.
Do you have any, yes, thank you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
You're good to go.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Too. Mr. Bowman, can you unmute? Jesse Bowman, can you unmute? Mr. Bowman, I need you to unmute so we can communicate. There we go. Hi,
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. I had a couple of questions about the information you gave me. What day of the week?
Okay.
What day of the week are you paid?
On Friday.
Okay. Tomorrow, you had asked to pay $125 a month. Can you pay $60 tomorrow?
I have to, ma'am. I have to. If that's what it's gonna take for me to get on this program, I have to.
Yes. Well, I mean, that basically tracks what you've asked, which is to pay $125 a month. And then it would be every 2
Yes, ma'am.
weeks. Every 2 weeks you would make that payment. You can always pay more and get it done faster, but that would be a minimum due payment. Can you do that?
A minimum of the 120,
It is, yeah.
and I pay that every 2 weeks.
No, $60 every 2 weeks.
Oh, $60 every 2 weeks. Yes, ma'am. I can do that. I can
Okay.
do that.
Can you come by today to sign for that or in the morning?
Actually, ma'am. Actually,
Yes.
I live in Philadelphia now. But if
Oh.
you can email that to me, I can
can.
sign them and
Okay.
get them back to you.
Yes, we will email that to you here this morning. And you print
Okay.
it, sign it, email it back, and then you can call the clerk and make a payment, or you can pay online.
Okay.
And we start those payments no later than tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I will send that to you here shortly.
Okay. Thank you so much, Judge.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your showing up today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Stay in touch with us till this is done, okay?
Yes, ma'am. I will. Definitely do that.
Wonderful. Thank you, sir.
Because I'm just trying to get this taken care of so I can be legal. Because I feel the car I want, and I want to be legal when I get it.
Yes, good. So if I have a hold on your license, and I think I might, you're going to need to finish paying these for me to release the license, but I can release the warrant with your emailed back signature.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Humphreys, can you unmute and talk to us? Mr. Dominique Humphrey, or ma'am, I'm not sure I'm reading the name right. It's a ma'am, I'm sorry. Dominique Humphrey.
I'm sorry, I had to start.
I apologize, I got the gender wrong. I wasn't looking very carefully at the file. I do have an option to order community service in your case. If I did that, and if I did that, it would be, sorry, it would be 29 hours. And we could work, we would start with 60 days, but if you needed more time, you just turn in what you have and let me know how much more time you might need. And we just keep plugging away until it gets done. So
Yes,
how
ma'am,
does that sound?
Yes, ma'am, I will take that. But I have another question. Okay,
Yes.
so I recently had some tickets. I think one was for 2020 without a seatbelt.
Yes.
That was when I first had a C-section. and they were told me to ask about that one and about the one I just got with no insurance to see if I can do community service with both.
Yes, it would be both.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I can do
Yes.
community service. I already
Yes.
have people lined up.
Where?
I have my apartment manager to pick up trash and my job extra hours doing laundry.
Okay, so here's the only thing. I don't know about your apartment manager because
Mhm.
it has to be a nonprofit organization. So
Oh,
sometimes,
she's a nonprofit organization. She doesn't even do that, but since I was a resident, she let me, knowing that I don't really have a babysitter to watch my baby, and I can
right.
like put her in the
What's
school
her,
and
what's
also
her,
work at
okay,
the same
ma'am,
time.
hold on. What's her nonprofit organization?
I'm sorry.
What is the name of her nonprofit organization?
It's the 400 apartment.
So I don't know, it might work, but I don't know who that is. And part of, if you don't use the list I provided, it has to be a certified nonprofit under state law, or I can't count it.
Yes, ma'am.
So make sure that, the best way to do that would be to get that from her nonprofit status letter. And if it's got the current dates on it, send that over to us and ask if we can double check that it's going to be okay. Because
Yes,
I'd
ma'am.
hate you to do all the hours and then find out that it doesn't count. And I'm not allowed to count hours from something that isn't certified as a nonprofit.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'll go
Yes,
ahead
ma'am.
and order it. And the due date is November 10th. And if you want to check in on that, you bring it to Erin and show it to
Yes,
her,
ma'am.
drop it off for Erin, and we can look at it and see. Because, I do have people do hours that I then have to reject. And then they spend a lot of energy, and maybe it was great to do it and everything, but it didn't count. And, it's very upsetting for them when that happens.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I just want to caution you now. When can you come by and just pick up the paperwork where I actually put all this in writing?
Can I pick it up tomorrow?
In the morning?
Yes, it can be. Can it be like 10 or 11?
Yeah, let's say 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
Try for that. If not, we'll see you as quickly as we can, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I made a note on the file, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you have any further questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you. You have a blessed day.
Thank you, ma'am. You too. Stay in touch with us till this is done. If you run into hiccups or problems, drop me another line on the email or a letter at the window, and I'll do my best to address concerns, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Humphrey.